Toy Chat is not a children's channel. This video is intended for adult gift givers and collectors. Hey guys, welcome to Toy Chat. This is Max.
And Sang.
So, we had to film a quick little impromptu conversation here because, as I'm sure many of you are already aware, Monster High dropped a bomb on us today on February 23rd, 2021. They all of a sudden on their social media pages posted a purple image with the Monster High logo. It was split up into a collage on Instagram, but the same image was posted on Twitter as well.
And Facebook.
The same image was shared across all their socials, and it was literally just the logo stylized a bit with a purple background surrounded by smoke, and there was no caption. They gave us no information.
I think people decode it pretty quickly because,
Yes.
yeah, I saw it on Instagram first. I had notifications set from Monster High years ago. And, after almost exactly 3 years, they finally posted something new, and I got literally 9 notifications from them. So I was really excited. But yeah, it was just a logo, but people in the comments linked to an article from Dateline about something brand new from Monster High.
Yes, and several other news outlets picked up the same story. So interestingly, even though the Monster High socials themselves said nothing about this, there is a animated series as well as a all new live action film coming from Monster High in 2022.
Oh, Deadline, get it?
Oh, yeah.
No, that's totally off topic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool. So they're partnering up with Nickelodeon for this. Again, the original web series were broadcast on Nickelodeon, on Nickelodeon in the past. So it's like they're returning home. So that's kind of nice.
And we don't know much yet in terms of who's going to be involved. At this time of recording, nothing has been made public in terms of casting. We're making this recording very preemptively, very early, so I'm sure new information might come in very rapidly. The only other changes that were made on the Monster High social media pages is they did change their profile picture as well to match this new image, and they also changed their bio to read greetings and scolutations. That's the only new information that Monster High has done or said anything on their end, although this is still a very big deal because even when the Monster High Skeletor dolls dropped, the official Monster High social media pages posted absolutely nothing. So this is the very first thing they've posted since March 2018, and that was like a photo of the reboot dolls.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because looking at the press release, it seems like they've been working on it for a little bit, and I'm curious if it was supposed to coincide with those Skeletor dolls, because I know merchandise and the creative side of things tend to not line up perfectly. Like if you notice, with the Funko Pops of all these movies that are originally slated to come out hasn't come out, but the Funko Pops have been released. So I wonder if it was supposed to be a bigger event, but because of the pandemic, they kind of had to separate them. I mean, there have been speculations about a Monster High reboot for a hot minute, but it was a bombshell for sure.
Yes, and the only real information we have about people involved, the main name that we'd really have anything to tie to is Shay Fontana, who has worked previously on DC Superhero Girls, as well as Claudia Spinelli in SVP Animation Development are overseeing the project for Nickelodeon, and Mattel executive producer Adam Bonnet and Christopher Keenan. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot to draw from this quite yet, and we don't really have anything to draw from in the past that Monster High has done in terms of live action, minus, their one, shall we say, interesting Digital Monsters music video. Which I personally found to be very cheesy and very outside the realm of what I'd want from Monster High. So yeah, for us personally, I'm not really excited by the idea of something live action, just because with children's entertainment in general, and live action with something that was originally a cartoon toy concept, that's tough really for any studio to bring to life. What's funny is I actually think Monster High's concept has potential to be a great live action film, if they kind of come at it with a little bit less of a silly, super kiddie approach. I think accepting the things about you that are different and, freaky, quote unquote, I think they could do something really cool with that. I just don't know how much faith I have that they'll take it in that direction.
Live action films and shows based on cartoons have been a mixed bag overall. I mean, recently Winx had a live action, which overall, some people liked it and some people hate it. It wasn't very faithful to the original cartoon. Monster High has a history with just live action development. Way back in 2013, there's been, rumors and press release about a live action Monster High movie. And, it was in development hell for forever. I think the last update that I saw was in 2015 when there was a director attached to a film that was supposed to come out in October of 2016, and that of course never happened. It's hard. Monster High is a very large cast, and I think it works better as like a television show than a movie. But I think having that movie budget, if they do it right, I think it'd be great to see these characters brought to life. And again, we are adults, and our critique of anything that's meant for kids, it's gonna be rough, but I think there's potential for them to do it justice, and I think potential to make Monster High really big again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious if they will go in a little bit more of a mature direction, because one thing I noticed, if we really want to start theorizing and picking apart what has been released, this image they put out is very dark. It uses dark colors, but if you boost the exposure on it and really lighten it up, you'll see sort of this hidden design and the word ghouls and safety pins, which, Sang and I had talked about. Safety pins have kind of an interesting relation to Monster High because they were Draculaura's earrings, but the logo initially had more tie-ins to zippers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
zippers and like keychains.
Yeah, so we're curious. Maybe we don't know if this means that maybe that is a hint to Draculaura, but heavy Draculaura involvement. I believe some of the articles I'd been reading mentioned Draculaura and Frankenstein specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can expect those characters, to be appearing in this media.
As exciting it is to have all this news about a Monster High show and movie, I'm excited for the products. I think
gotta talk about the dolls.
The dolls, merchandise,
the dolls, of course. I mean that is a question mark. I'm sure most of y'all will be having are dolls, and that is something that hasn't yet been confirmed.
Rather than them focusing so much on rebooting the dolls, I want them to just use the old ones. I think they can save a lot of money if they still have those molds, and so that way they can spend the extra funds on fashion and keeping the quality higher. I think part of the reason why the reboot failed is because they spent so much money on the face sculpts and the changes to the bodies that a lot of the dolls that actually came out were budget dolls.
Tying back to what I was saying earlier with that image is looking back, a lot of promotional materials for the reboot used brighter, warmer colors, and so I'm curious if this new image kind of being a little bit darker, and the fact that we very recently got the Skeletor dolls, which obviously were much darker in tone and targeting adult collectors, I'm curious if maybe they will continue more of the traditional Monster High route versus trying to market to very, very, very young children.
Well, I think it's different because now if it was strictly just collector dolls, I think that will be geared toward adults. The fact that they are making a show on Nickelodeon and a movie, I think they're going back gearing towards a younger crowd.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, chances are, the dolls that are going to be attached to that media will, of course, be Playline. Also, in relation to this, we did post on both Instagram and YouTube if you guys had any specific questions and theories on this. And some of the recurring trends I noticed in things people were saying were that, first of all, they really hope that no dolls released from this reappearance of Monster High have the quality control issues or controversies in, recent Barbies. That's been a really kind of contentious topic lately with the pixelated eyes and that kind of thing. We haven't really seen that much on brands from Mattel outside of Barbie, and, historically never have for Monster High. So hopefully that's not the case.
I'm just gonna say it. If they use decal eyes, I'm done. I'm out. I'm sorry, I can't. I get Barbie, because Barbie is a very cheap line, and I don't know why they use the decal eyes for some like the more expensive Barbies, but the Monster High heads are so large. It's gonna be so much more noticeable. If you're gonna put effort into something, like go full steam ahead. Don't give me that stuff. Like if you're trying to compete with like LOL and that kind of demographic, like you need to put a lot of effort into this. Like Monster High has a legacy, and like if you're gonna bring it back and just gonna tarnish it, like I don't want it.
Well, I think it needs to be very different from Barbie as well, because
Yeah.
I think when a company comes, if of course they're bringing back this really iconic brand, it needs to stand very apart from Barbie. And I think that was part of, a pain point for the Monster High reboot, is it aligned the Monster High characters a little bit more with Barbie. Another really recurring comment that people kept mentioning, and this ties into something we've already mentioned, is a lot of people said they're really, really hoping that they stick to the core Ghouls and the OG designs and sculpts. As we mentioned earlier, it seems like a lot of people are not wanting any of these new dolls to use reboot sculpts. I think there were definitely certain good things that came out of the reboot, in which, we addressed years ago when we reviewed them on this channel. Laguna and Cleo had, some nice glow up aspects to them. And I think there were nice things about the body sculpt changes, like the boys having kind of, bulkier and more easier to work with bodies.
I actually like Monica's face, her sculpt. I know she was very hated in certain crowds, especially Ghoulia fans. I like her sculpt. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would want them to continue using the same characters in the past. I would be okay with either the reboot faces or...
Yeah, I think they're going to have a mixed response depending on which of those two they choose. They need to show some respect to my girl Spectra Vondergeist, because she made no appearance in the entire reboot, and I'm a huge fan of Spectra. So if they're bringing back the original cast, I think that would be a really great character to reintroduce, because she has been even longer missing than, most of these other characters. If there's any characters you guys would specifically really like to see, sound off in the comments and let us know. Another really recurring theme that I was seeing, I saw multiple people make comments along the lines of, will Monster High and its theme work as well now as it did in 2010 and when it first came out? Because definitely there's not as much of an occult, kind of spooky Monster Mash pop culture fascination as there was at that time. And I think the brand would definitely need to evolve a little bit. They'd need to become more modern. They're competing with these products from MGA that are very trendy, fashion forward, and I think Monster High will have to do something similar.
For me, I can't really speak for what kids like, but I think if you put effort into the fashion, the styling of your dolls, it doesn't really matter to me what kind of genre their outfits or trends their outfits are. Because if you have a cute little gothic Lolita outfit for Draculaura, it doesn't matter if she looks like she's straight out of Japan or runway. To me, if it's nice and you get little cute little ribbons and ruffles on it, I think parents and kids can notice that there's an effort into the creation of this doll. And I think that's the thing with what LOL and OMG is doing really well. Is like, yes, they're really trendy, but at the same time, some of the characters are very like specific
thematic
like, theme. So especially with the new Sugar and Spice, are they called Sugar and Spice? What are they called?
Sweets and Spicy Babe.
Yeah, Sweet and Spicy Babe.
We plan to review them. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm not catching on, but I don't think none of their fashions is like strictly like high end, like trendy outfits. Super cutesy, timeless.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when you put effort into design and detail, it shows, regardless of the theme.
But competition's great. I think you need competition in the marketplace. I know back in the day, Monster High had a very nice price point of $15 to $20, but now that companies are pushing, you know, $23 to $30 for dolls, I think they definitely can compete, and they can definitely keep up with the quality control if they keep it at a higher price point.
Yeah, I think to compete with the modern dolls, but also keep the quality up, I would be okay if they come out the gate with kind of higher price points. Like, I'd be okay if these new Monster High dolls come out at like $21, $22, $25 if they're nice dolls, versus like, we're gonna sell something really cheap, you know, too. And I think I don't want them to go in that direction.
They need a gimmick, to be honest, if they're going to charge a little bit higher price. That doesn't add to cost. I think Rainbow High did that really well. There's not really a gimmick where like hidden compartments or like blind bag gimmick. It's more like, oh, you get a second fashion. And I think if Monster High did that, I think kids nowadays expect an experience when they open toys. And I think Monster High should do that as well. I think it should be something that's fun and like noteworthy that they can share with their friends. And, you know, YouTube unboxing videos are so popular. You know, it's one of those things that you need to make this experience of opening your doll an event.
That is very true. Yeah, hopefully they include something like that. You know, maybe the dolls will come with fun accessories or activities. The quality and, you know, representing this very popular, very iconic brand well, and in a light that both newcomers and longtime fans can respect, I think will be the important thing.
You know, I'm so mad that it's so far off. It's, you know, 2022. I'm excited for dolls. You know, don't tell me something's coming until it's like a month out, because I want these now.
Yes. So obviously there's not much information right now, and this could end up being a rapidly evolving situation. More information could drop tomorrow, and, you know, Sang and I will do our best to continue covering the topic, you know, as new stuff and new information comes in. We can't guarantee we can post a new video every single time a piece of new information comes in, but we will definitely do our best to stay on top of it for you guys. Join the conversation in the comments below. Let us know what you guys want to see from this series, from this movie, and hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, surely from the dolls that could be attached to it. What do you miss most about Monster High? What do you hope to see most? But it's confirmed, y'all. More Monster High is coming. So hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't, and check out our Monster High playlist below for even more videos. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Mattel, call us.